Good morning.
Good
Or,
morning.
well, maybe people aren't watching this in the morning, but it's morning for us. How is everyone today? How are you, Anna?
Good. I'm good. We had to turn on the heat.
Yeah, I know we talked about weather last week, but the weather today is really cold.
Yeah, but I can't complain. It's the first time we've had the heat on all fall, winter that we get.
I can't
So
believe.
once it hit 65 in here, I was like, okay, dear, it's time to. I can't do the cold anymore.
Well, you have much better windows than I do and insulation, so I've had to put the heat on a few times, but I also keep it set at 60 and 62. So my electric bill is still $400, which is
My body was in
insane.
shock yesterday. I know I didn't tell you this. But my body went into shock yesterday because of how cold I was,
Hmm.
and my finger turned white.
Oh, that's that.
Raynaud's.
Yeah.
It's not if it's not both. I looked it up, but we'll see. I'm gonna have to say something to my doctor because I don't know if you can see my. I took pictures and I sent it to Scott because I was like
Yeah, you can't really see it in the.
it's yeah, it's kind of like okay. Anyway, my finger turned white and then it turned blue and then it went back to normal. So
Mm.
Raynaud's, it says that that's what it does, but I was like, this is interesting. And not only did it turn colors, like it was tingly and like numbing, and I was like, oh, this is something new for me.
Well, that happened to me actually at school. This was, um, I guess, I can't remember if it was when we came back from break or right before break. It's been freezing in my classroom. Freezing. Uh, my classroom has almost always been hot. Like, even in the winter time, I usually have to wear, like, sleeveless shirts because it was so. I'm not even kidding you. It was, like, boiling and I was sweating. And for whatever reason, and it's crazy because the teacher across the hall, I'm Kelly, by the way. I didn't introduce myself. I don't think. um, uh, the teacher across the hall's classroom she's wearing like 3 layers of clothes, like freezing cold. And mine, you literally walk in the classroom and you could just feel it. So this year, for whatever reason, it's freezing in my classroom, and it's still cold in her classroom, but not as cold as it normally is. And so, anyway, whatever. I've been wearing, like layers or whatever, because usually right around fourth period, that's when it gets colder. So I don't know why. If the heat goes off or the air conditioner's on, who knows? Anyway, it was right before lunch one day, and all of a sudden, and I looked down, and that's what happened to my finger. It was completely white, and it was like in my classroom. I mean, I wasn't outside. It was cold in
I
there,
was inside when this happened too. Yeah.
and it wouldn't. And it was, and this happens to me all the time. I mean, whenever the temperature gets between like 50 and 60 degrees, it'll happen to me, especially if I'm outside. It happened yesterday 3 or 4 times when I was outside.
Okay, this is the first time it's ever happened to me.
Oh, this has been happening to me for years, but this last year it's been pretty bad. Like, it's been happening way more often. But it's never happened to me inside when I'm just like doing nothing. I mean, whatever. And so I was trying to, kind of like squeeze my fingers. I ran it under hot water. I could not get the feeling back in my finger. I mean, it was completely white from this knuckle all the way up. And so my kids went to lunch and I went straight to the nurse's office. I'm like, of course it was my middle finger too. I'm like, I can't feel my finger and it's not coming back. I mean, and so, and it, normally, once I mess with it, it's fine. but I
Yeah.
couldn't get it back. And so I was starting to get a little worried because it had been
It
maybe
says,
10 or 15 minutes.
I mean, have you been diagnosed with it?
No, but she gave me a heating, like an ice pack, but a heat pack thing, and it finally, I mean, but it was a good 30 minutes before it actually.
It could be minutes to hours for that to come back. I don't think there's really nothing you can do but wait for it to come back.
Well, I'm like, I don't need my fingers to fall off. So, yeah, it was kind of scary because, like I said, usually it's outside. And so as soon as I, get in the car in the mornings, whenever I'm doing especially lately because of the gate, now we have the gate. So I have to get out of the car, do the gate, blah, blah, blah. And so by the time I get back in the car, it won't be all the way down, but it'll be part of the way down, like the white. And so I'll just like put my hand on the heater and try to warm my hands up while I'm driving and switch off. So yeah, it was. Dogs, be quiet. Sorry. Speaking of the cold, the dogs don't want to go outside today because, well, they do want to go outside. They want to go out in the front. They want to go in the front, but yesterday they got out of the fence at least, oh, I don't know, 5 times. And then I had to get them back in. And so, yeah.
So you still haven't found a permanent solution for those damn dogs.
Yeah, so I will be right back because I'm going to try to get them to go into the back because they can't go in the front because they'll get out. So there's apparently something in the yard. I will be right back. Anna,
Squirrel.
keep our guests occupied. Dogs, let's go. This way. No, we're not going that way. Come on, let's go.
Kelly and her dogs. I always give her a hard time. Whenever something goes wrong, whenever the dogs do something, I always say, "Damn dogs." Oh,
So I'm gonna have to take a picture
you,
of
you
what they're
love,
doing right now so that you can see they won't go outside because they're both standing at the window right now. There's a cat in the yard because we don't have a cat every single day,
right.
and there's a cat. So
Yeah, we just,
and of course they want to go in the front, but I'm not letting them go in the front because they'll get out of the fence. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh my God, really? No, you're not going that way because you'll get out. You'll get out.
this is Kelly's life.
This is my life. So welcome to the official of my life. This is my life. Dogs, let's go this way. Come on, come on, let's go this way. Come on, come on, Charlotte. Come on.
And she always wonders why she can't ever get anything done. Oh, it's so funny.
Okay, well maybe they'll stop barking and then they can just be there. But then they'll annoy me. Oh well. You can look at the cat or you can go in the back. But you're not going to chase the cat because then you're going to get away. And then I'm going to have to go find you and then you're going to bother the neighbors. Come on, Charlie. Whatever. Okay. As long as they don't bark, I don't really care.
How many dogs are at the house now?
4. We don't have Sailor anymore. Well, we started with Pickles because that was Connor's dog. When my son, so Connor went into boot camp. Basically, we bought this house, we got married, and then Connor went to boot camp. And so we were fostering Mr. Pickles. And he was a little tiny black dog, he looked kind of like a miniature Doberman.
He did.
And then everyone would ask what kind of dog he is, and I would say he's a small black dog. Because I have no idea what kind of dog he was. He was a pretty good dog. And so we had that dog all the way through when he was in boot camp, and after he was deployed and all of that stuff because he didn't have a place to keep him. And then
Gotta love kids when they get, it's like all these kids, when Kirsten went off to college, all these girls thought they needed a dog and they all played softball, college softball. So why do you think you need a dog when you're at school all day and then you have softball? Like, oh my gosh, it drives me nuts. I never let my kid get a dog while she was away, and Cameron will not get a dog when he moves and goes off to college. No dogs. People don't want to be, somebody has to be there to take
like, what are
care
you
of
gonna
them.
do when you can't take care of it? Oh,
Wait,
yeah, duh. Well, that was
you can
like,
just wait.
yeah, when we lived in the apartment. So whenever we moved out of our summer moon house, Connor and I moved in. I talked about this last week, I think. We moved into the apartment downtown, and whenever we were looking for apartments, we were looking for apartment for dogs because we had Berkeley. And then
Oh, yeah.
Connor went to go visit his dad and his dad's girlfriend in Brazil, and Berkeley died. Do you remember
I remember that.
Like, he was sick. Like, it was all of a sudden we discovered there was something wrong with him. He was kind of like having a hard time breathing. So I had taken him to the vet, and they basically said, yeah, he pretty much has like 4 months to live. Like, I guess he had cancer or something in his lungs, which was so weird. I mean, this was a freaking purebred lab and he wasn't that old. He was only maybe 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah, that's why my friend found out yesterday. Her dog has cancer, and our dog's only, we got them all at the same time. They're 8 years old in September, and he has liver and spleen.
Yeah, so just crazy. And I felt so bad because the first dog we had, Winston, died when my son was at a Boy Scout overnight trip. And then the second dog died when he was out of town. And I think he's kind of like, are you sure you didn't kill my dog? Like, but
You don't even.
yeah. And Berkeley was, he was close with Winston, but Berkeley was like Connor's dog. That dog, he slept with him every night. He would follow him around. And so I just felt so bad because it was horrible. And so, there wasn't anything I could do about it, but whatever. So the dog died. So then we didn't have to look for an apartment where you could have a dog, which made it a lot easier because I was right in trying to find that right then. And then as we were at that apartment, Connor's like, I think I'm going to get a dog. And I'm like, no, we're not having a dog. We're not having a dog. So then when he moved out with that roommate friend, he got a cat at his house.
I remember that.
And actually, that's when he got Pickles. He wasn't living with me. He had moved with that roommate for a minute, and that didn't work out. And then he ended up having the dog and the cat. Yeah. But luckily, I don't know what ended up happening with the cat. I don't know. But he did. That's when he got the dog, when he was living at that other place.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's what because he was going to culinary school.
Yeah, for a minute.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
It takes people. Sometimes it takes people a while to figure out.
And then he went to, like computer design or something. He was in the same place. It was the Art Institute of Houston, which no longer exists anymore. So I guess it was kind of good that didn't pan out.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah. So he was there, and then he ended up coming back, and so he was living with us in that house I was telling you that we rented, which worked out good that we had the house and the yard and all the things. But so that dog was with us there, and then the dog moved with us here, and then he was fine. He was fine.
Yeah.
But I remember when Connor brought him, he had fleas.
I remember
And
that.
so then we had to get rid of the fleas, and of course, fleas were in the house, and I was like, really? And my husband doesn't like dogs in the house as it is. Of course, that's he still doesn't like dogs in the house, but he loves his wife, so the dogs are in the
Hey,
house.
it's the same thing in my house. Like, I don't want the dogs in the house, but in Texas, you really can't have dogs, and I'm not going to be cruel. But I have allergies, and I have to take allergy pills every day because of I'm I would my allergies would be going crazy. So,
Yeah.
so you know,
So
I
then,
already sacrificed, but
right.
whatever.
But
I love dogs. I just love when they. It's
belong to
kind of
somebody
like
else.
grandkids, right? You'd want your grandkids to go home. I want to go visit dogs.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
that's how I feel.
Yeah.
I love animals. I want to go visit them, but I don't want them living in my house.
Yeah, I get
I
it.
just, I just, and I've said it before. After you've done and raised 4 kids, and maybe it's because I spread them out for
Ever.
decades. Um, I don't know. I just feel like I'm done taking care of something. I want the freedom to just go.
Right.
Like the kids are grown. Like now you have a dog keeping you at home. Like
Right.
I'm ready to go. I want to go somewhere and not have to worry about getting my dogs shots, taking them to the somewhere to stay. You know, dealing with all of that. Like I'm just ready to have no responsibility but myself.
Yeah. Well, even for me, like, I can't even come in. So now we live about, what, an hour, 15 minutes ish apart, depending on whatever. And so, ideally, if it would be better if I would go there, we would spend the night and like hang out, and you don't have to drive back and forth or whatever, unless it's like early.
Yeah.
But if we wanted to do something in the evening, I don't want to drive back an hour and 15 minutes in pitch black. Besides the fact, the way I go, it's like all back roads. So
Back road,
it's just
right?
not.
There's no streetlights.
It's just not ideal to be driving at night. First of all, I can't really see that well.
Yeah.
Second of all, just driving on county roads when it's dark is just not ideal in and of itself. So anyway, it would be nice just to go and like spend the night and hang out. And I think the one time I brought Pickles, and then that was a disaster. Stupid dog. I did bring Pickles to your house that one time. I think he ruined your couch, and you didn't say anything because you're being nice to me. But yeah, and so I can't do that because of the dogs.
I'm looking at my dog.
Well, and then but Pickles was still Connor's dog, and so
Yep.
I mean we're on this property, so it makes sense we have like a good dog, right? So that's when Izzy was working up in Conroe, and there were these 2 stray white lab mixed dogs that were on the golf course, and they'd been there for like 6 months. Someone had dumped them. Beautiful dogs.
I remember this.
And so he was already working there for like 3 or 4 months. So he was trying to catch the dog. He was going to just bring it home because the owner was like, we need to get rid of these dogs. So finally, but Birdie wouldn't come close. She would come near the golf course, but she would never go near people.
Yep.
And then there were, I think, 2 guys he said that she would maybe go to, but she would never get close enough to anyone to let them pet her or anything like that, unless they had food. So basically her diet when she was young was like peanut butter crackers and Cheez-Its, because people would feed her all this crap. And so they would just put it out, and then she would eventually come closer to get it, but she wouldn't take it out of your hand or anything like that. So when I was up there one time, I met her or whatever, and I could never get her to come close. So she was super skittish. So anyway, they got the whatever dog catcher people to come, and they put traps out to try to catch her. Well, then it rained, and they didn't come get the trap, like whatever. They never caught her. So finally, they did catch her, and they brought her to the I guess pound or whatever the place, and Izzy had told them like, look, whenever you catch this dog, I want to take her. So they caught the dog, and then he said, well, can I get her on Monday or whatever? And they're like, if you want this dog, you need to take her now or right now because someone else is going to adopt her. Because, I mean, she's a gorgeous dog.
Oh, she's so pretty.
Yeah. And so, and even though she was shy, she's still
that's all train. That's stuff you can train out of.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, he calls me on his way home from the course, and he's like, "Hey, I have a surprise for you." And I'm like, "Okay, whatever." So this is a Saturday, and this is Saturday. Is it Saturday or Sunday? I can't remember. Anyway, so it's Saturday, and yes, it was a Saturday. So he pulls the truck up, and he's like, "Come out here." So I go out in the front yard, and he comes around the truck, and then this dog gets out of the car. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. Okay, mind you, on Monday, I was going to be in Houston for a week babysitting my niece and nephew. So I wasn't going to be home for the whole next week. And I'm like, and he was still working. So I'm like, what the heck am I going to do with this dog for a week? I'm not going to be here. I'm like, yay, we have a dog. Now what do I do? So speaking of not being able to go anywhere or whatever, so of course Pickles is here. So Pickles is like this big. Birdie is, well, when he brought her home, she only weighed like probably 50 or 60 pounds. Now she weighs like 80 pounds. She's like a pig. But anyway, she was so skinny. So Pickles goes up to her, and she runs the other way. And Pickles is just growling at her and all this. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. So we left the front door. We tried to bring her in the house, and she did not want to come in the house. And she just, like, stood at the door like this with her head down. We called her Eeyore. She's like, just standing like this. And we let her in the front. And so then finally, I mean, it was time to go to bed or whatever. So she was just sitting in the front yard, and she was just sitting there, and so we were just kind of watching her out the window, because we're like, well, what do we do with her? And the next thing we know, and it was dark, it was like, well, and it was like 10 o'clock, so again, we live in the middle of nowhere. Freaking Pickles goes out there and scares her or whatever, and she takes off. Just runs. Well, it's pitch black in the country. And we see her go, and we're like, okay, I don't know where she... And she's only been here for a couple hours, so it's not like she knows where her home is.
Right.
So we, drive down the end of the street, which is a dead-end street, and we, call her. Of course, we just named her that day, so she doesn't know her name. I was like, oh my God, we had a dog for 5 hours, and we already lost it. It was horrible. So anyway, so the whole next day, I'm like driving her out. I mean, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. There's no way we're gonna find this dog. So I don't even think we had a picture of her. We had a picture because of course I took pictures right when we got her, and so I'm having to put up signs at the post office and everything else. I post on Facebook. Like in our Talk of Liverpool, whatever. Missing dog. I mean, I didn't tell them that we only had the dog for like a minute. But she was so shy. I mean, she wouldn't come to me or anything.
Yeah.
So then I have to leave to go to Houston on Monday morning. So the dog is still missing. That we're supposed to be rescuing this dog that we didn't rescue. And I go to Houston and I call the SPCA or whatever it is. Also, well, the good thing was she had a chip, because when the dog catcher people took her, they gave her shots and they gave her the chip and all the things, because if somebody wanted to adopt her.
But did you register it?
I think I did, because the next day, because obviously she was missing. So I did, actually. So anyway, I call and they said, okay. I said, well, if this dog comes, and I kind of explained what happened, and they of course laughed at me, and I mean, so anyway, I get a call. So that's like, so we can't find her. So I told the neighbors. The neighbor who lives at the end of the street said, hey, I think I saw her down by the tree in the property across the street, because it's like their property, but it's a field where they have not corn, but whatever. And he says, I think so he put out a little kennel and some water and some food, thinking maybe she would come by. And because he works, shift work, so he was leaving really early in the morning or whatever. And so when I came home the next week, I was getting up really early and driving over there and like seeing if I could find her or just looking. He said he thought he saw her a couple times. Okay. So this is already like a week. This is already a week and a couple days. So we get a phone call. No, I think it was like the next weekend. I don't know. Anyway, we get a phone call. My husband gets a phone call on his phone, and I never answer because it's always spam. And this person says, I think we have your dog. And we're like, what? She had gone, several miles. They were building a wind farm several miles down the road. And they were building a wind farm, and apparently she befriended all the people who worked there, and she'd been hanging out there all week. And they'd been feeding her, and she would go out with them during the day. And then I guess one of the workers was taking her home at night because she had dogs.
Yep.
And so anyway, they're like, we have your dog. And I'm like, oh, she's really skittish. Because I wrote in the thing, she's really skittish. They're like, I don't know what you're talking about. She wasn't skittish with us. He's like, okay. So anyway, but the problem is we were going to go out of town that weekend. And I'm like, now what do we do with this dog? Like, bring her home and leave her here? And so I said, this is going to sound awful, but can we pay you to keep the dog for the weekend? They were like, okay. So we paid the people to keep the dog for the weekend because we were going out of town. And then we picked her up on Sunday when we got back. And then I was home because it was summer. But, oh my God. It was like the stupidest. I'm like, babe. And so, just to give you, I love my husband, but just to give you any indication of like how he has been with every animal that we've introduced into this like farm or whatever, there's never been a thought process before. Like, I love like the spur of the moment, but sometimes
you don't ever surprise somebody with a freaking animal.
Yeah. So chickens, pigs, cats, all of them. Guess what? Look what I got today. And he's like a little kid. Like, he was so excited. I got a dog. Look, we got chickens. Great. Where are we going to put them? I got pigs. Great. Where are we going to put them? They grow, and they're strong. And they're ruining my flower beds right now. And then, yeah. So, but yeah, so then it was fine after that. We figured out the backyard, and she was staying in the backyard, and it was good. But, oh my gosh, talk about, like, embarrassing. Like, you lost your dog in the first 5 minutes, and then you find your dog, but you can't even take your dog because you're going out of town. It was so bad. So bad.
Right, kind of reminds me of, I started following Kelly Osbourne, Ozzy Osbourne's daughter.
Oh, yeah.
And she does the Instagram stories every day. And so her and her fiance and their little boy, live in Iowa, and they have animals now. Like, she goes and takes care of, but it's almost like it's therapeutic for her, I think.
Yeah.
'Cause she's, she lost her father, and And she was very, very close to him. So, but yeah, she's got chickens and ducks and cows.
How did she end up in Iowa?
I don't know, but I'm guessing he is from there. I think his mom may live with them or close to them. He's definitely from the States though. But yeah, it's pretty interesting to watch what she feeds them, and it's definitely keeps her freaking busy. I mean, she has to feed the baby cattle, the calves. You have to bottle feed them twice a day, and
Wow.
and so she
Why
just
don't they just eat from the moms?
I don't know. They're not. They must have bought them and not. I don't know. But they're done bottle feeding them now. Now they're old enough. They have to go to food. But she makes like this special thing for her chickens and ducks, and I mean they look like healthy, like pretty, like their coats and everything. They're really healthy, pretty animals. But they've got, these chickens have such personalities. It's so funny to watch them, and she has named, of course, she's named them and stuff. And, it's funny. It's fun to watch. It's just, I like I said, I love animals. I'd love to like care for animals like that. Like, we have cows that live right across the way here, and I'll hear them mooing when I'm on my walks and stuff. And animals are so fascinating, and horses especially. I love horses. But yeah, something living in my home, and like I just would rather not have the dog here.
Yeah, that we can do without. I have to say it's been not as bad in the winter now because they're not shedding as much, but still, I mean, 4 big dogs, yeah. So, yeah, I was gonna
Anyway,
say,
yeah, it's fascinating to see. I have some friends who now are like more living a more homestead kind of life, from people I went to like high school with, and that's all just really cool stuff. Like just you can learn so much from people. And the girl I work with, she does some canning and jarring and stuff, and like it's neat to learn about that stuff, I think.
I love doing all those things, but the problem is that like the cart before the horse. That's been kind of the story of our life since we moved here. Which, again, it's part of it is like if you don't just do it, you're not gonna do it. So like, let's just jump in and do it. Kind of like our podcast right now or our vlog.
We always do that crap. Like with our DIYs around here. Always like, I want to do this. Let's start on this project. And we've learned a little bit, and we do kind of like set out a plan and guess how much material we need for things. And, but let me tell you, it still ends up in multiple trips to the hardware store.
But that's how it's been with everything here. I mean, I think we lived here for a couple weeks, and Izzy brought home baby chicks, like little tiny chicks, and I'm like, oh, they're so cute. Where are we gonna put them?
Yeah.
So we had them in the kitchen.
How do we even start caring for them?
Yeah, well, I don't know
what do they eat?
We had them in the kitchen in a cat kennel. Okay, and then we were like, oh, they're so cute. We just let them out, and they were like, whatever. And then they poop everywhere. So
Yeah.
they're pooping and they're in my kitchen. Like, okay,
And you know
my
you can
kitchen
get,
isn't fancy anyway, so okay, fine, but still, that's gross. So then finally, then they were getting big, and I'm like, where are we going to put the chickens? Oh, we'll just put them on the deck on the back. So I had actually, when we first moved in, the back deck, we kind of thought that was going to be where we would sit. So I had like a little table and some chairs, and it was kind of cute, as best as it could be cute with it not being the way it was. So then he puts the chickens in the backyard, which you can't have any flower beds or anything like that because they ruin all of them. And then Pickles goes back there because they're big enough, and he chases them and he starts catching them, and so he's killing them. Not to mention they're flying all over the place and they're pooping all over the back deck, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess we're not going to be sitting out here because this is disgusting. Also disgusting. So then we had no place to put these chickens. So my husband finally builds a chicken coop or whatever.
yes,
And then
yes.
we move them over there. But
But then
that took like
but then they
several
started
weeks.
getting animals breaking into it and killing the chickens and snakes and
Yeah, and we've
Awful.
had several different iterations of the chicken coop. I mean, first we had it right up against the garage, and then the way the water, it was just not a good place because the water pooled there, and it was just not. And then we decided to build the fence and put it in the other one, which was good and bad because it was a very large place for them, but it was, I mean, the other one was open too, but this was a huge space, so it was way easier for other flying things and, like you said, snakes and whatever to go in there and catch them. But it worked for a while, and then oh, we wanna hatch chickens. So then there's this like chicken hatching net, whatever heating thing that's in the garage that you're checking, and then the baby chicks hatch. So then again, you have more chickens, more baby chicks, and then they're in a kennel. They're in
They
a
have to be
dog kennel.
separated, right, from the.
Well, yeah, because otherwise they couldn't be in the back because they would get out of the back or something would eat them. So we have them in the thing, which is fine, but also disgusting because there's not really, it's just like a kennel on top of the workbench in the garage. I mean, anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't all have to be fancy, but it was like, because I'm trying to clean out the garage and make spaces, and it's just like there. And then we built a little nursery so we had like the nursery and the kindergarten. We called it the kindergarten for the chickens, for the chicks. And we had them there. And then we would let them out and put them back in. They had their own little spot. So it's evolved and it's gotten better, but in the meantime, in all of this, I come home from work one day and there's like these things I see in the yard, and Eddie's like, "Look, I got pigs." So he got 3 pigs, and I'm watching them. They are destroying the flower beds, absolutely destroying. I'm like, where? And he's like, well, I mean, you could tell that he knew that I was gonna be like, what's going on? Because he buys the pigs, but he didn't have a place to put them. So, I mean, you know Izzy. I love him. I told him when we started our podcast, he's like, it's just going to be a bashing husband podcast. Like, it's not a bashing husband podcast. I love him. But the things that I'm saying are nothing that I haven't told him to his face, because he knows. He knows that this is a problem. Like, you cannot. I told him, I was like, no more animals until we have a place to put them. No more. And then we have the dogs, and so then. But yeah, so he's like scrambling around trying to like put something together in the chicken area so that he can put these pigs in there, which was fine for like, I don't know, maybe a week or two. And then in
Right.
2 weeks, they got so big that then we had to build another thing because they were getting out. And then he built the other thing, and then they got out of that thing. And so, yeah.
So, and long story short, you don't have any animals but 4 dogs and two cats now.
Three cats. No,
Oh.
no, 4 cats. Yeah, we still have Percy. We still have the. So when we very first moved here, we got Onions. Onions was because we had pickles, so we named the cat Onions. And this cat was awesome. It was a great cat. But when when Izzy got it, apparently someone at the golf course had rescued this cat. It had been attacked by dogs, and they'd taken it to the vet because the insides were outside the cat. And they did surgery on it. This lady paid $800 for this kitten to have surgery. I'm like, do you know how many kittens we've had since we've lived on this property? Probably at least 50. I'm not even kidding.
Oh, easily.
But
Yeah.
bless her heart for trying to save this cat. So we took the cat, and this cat was awesome. He was so great. I mean, he would catch mice, and he was a hunter. He was super thick. He was solid muscle, and he was really pretty. And he would let you pet him and stuff, and he was a little bit lovey, but he would just rather be, outside and hunting and whatever. So he would come back, and he'd be missing part of his ear one day, and he'd be missing part of his tail one day. I don't even know how this cat lived as long as it did, but it lived for probably about 3 years, 2 or 3 years. But one day it just never came back. So, which is fine. And so that Christmas we got Percy, this really fugly looking cat. That cat, she's had, I think, at least 2 litters every year since we've lived in this house. And then her kittens have had kittens several times since we've lived in this house. And yeah. And she just keeps getting pregnant. I took her to get her fixed last year, and the people were like, they called me and said, I'm so sorry, but we can't do the surgery because she's throwing up blood, and we're afraid that something might happen to her. I'm like, that's okay. I'm like, it's fine, you can do it. Well, we can't because I'm like, ugh. And she was pregnant at the time. Whenever I took her, and I'm just like, because I asked him, I said, well, what do you do if you try to fix her? And because I said, I'm pretty sure she's pregnant. And they said, well, we'll just terminate the pregnancy. And she said, some people think that there's, that's wrong. And I was like, nope, it's good. I'm good with it. I don't need any more cats. And so I had to go get her, and I brought her home. So this is 8 months later. She's still alive, and she's had 2 litters since then. She had those kittens, and then she had another litter. Yeah. So, but of those litters, we only have two cats left. We have Onyx, the black one, that cat, I don't know what's wrong with it, but it's missing hair. I mean, and you could see its bones. Like, it's a very nice cat, but I don't want to touch it because, I mean, I don't know if it's in pain or I don't know what's wrong with it. I mean, it's not starving because we feed it, but it's clearly, there's something wrong with it. And then we have Peach Fuzz, which I've saved. That was when she had a litter. And I moved the kittens. That was when the dogs were in the back. And I moved the kittens to the garage. And then Percy kept picking up the kittens and bringing them to the back porch. So then the dogs would chase the kittens. And they think that they're a toy. And then, well, you know what happens with dog toys. They don't last very long. And so I would come home inevitably, and there'd be kittens in the yard. One day I came and I could hear all these mew, mew, mew. And the dogs dug all these holes in the backyard. And I was looking out and you could see the little kitten heads popping up out of the holes. And I'm going around collecting kittens because the kittens were trying to hide. And so I would bring them to the garage, and then the next day she would bring them to the backyard. So inevitably, I wasn't picking up alive kittens anymore. I was picking up dead kittens. It was so sad. And then there was this one cat. I swear, I must have saved this cat. I mean, he has like 19 lives because I saved this cat so many times. But this is Peach Fuzz. So finally, that's when I brought the kitten in the house and put it in a dog kennel and let it live there, and I would let it go in and out until it stayed inside pretty much until it was big enough that I knew it could kind of sort of defend itself. And so, yeah. And then we have the one that my teaching partner this summer sends me a picture of this little tiny black cat. And it's at her house. And she was pregnant, so she couldn't have a cat. And they have already 2 dogs or whatever. And she's like you, Anna. She's like, no more dogs as soon as these dogs. And, I mean, she has a toddler already, Rikers, at the time.
She's got 2 little ones now. It's just, you have your hands full. You don't need something else to take care of.
And so she sends me this picture, and I'm like, oh, it's so cute. She's like, can you come get it? She didn't say, can you come get it? But it was basically like, Kelly, it was like, do you have any suggestions? I'm like, all right, fine, I'll come get it. So I came and got the cat, and I was like, where'd it come from? And she says, I don't know. Jesse was mowing, and this little tiny cat was just in the middle of the yard. So they asked all the neighbors, and because she lives really close to me. She lives like, well,
it was probably one of your cats to begin with.
Yeah, so it's 7 minutes if you're driving, but it's really only like 3 miles or if that, because it's just because you have to drive 30 miles an hour on the road. It's really close. Anyway, but they live in sort of like it's one street, it's a subdivision, there's maybe like 20 houses, but they all have 1 or 2 acre lots, so it's really nice, but it's kind of sort of planned, whatever. So it's still country on either side of them, but so for a cat to, wander over there maybe and have kittens kind of makes sense. Maybe they'd had them in the garage or something. But they looked everywhere and they didn't find one. They asked all the neighbors. Nobody had it. So I was like, it's fine, I'll take it. So I was already nursing Peach Fuzz. So I figured, okay, so we just set up another kennel. And now I have 2 baby kittens that I'm taking care of. And of course, it was so small. I mean, it was really small. It was like this big. And so I had to, this one, at least Peach Fuzz, I think it was old enough that I didn't necessarily, I could feed it regular food. And then also, I could take it out to Percy and she would nurse him a little bit. But Mowgli, I mean, I had to make sure it was getting food or whatever. And it was so small. So the next day I was doing a job. We were working on a mural project. So I had to take the cat with me. So I took it to the school. We had it in a kennel and we hid it in the buggy. And so it was in the kennel. Because I couldn't leave it at home because it had to eat. I mean, I'm assuming it needs to eat several times a day, right? It's a little kitten. It was fine. They didn't know. I mean, it was summertime, so hopefully that school's not watching this.
I was just gonna say. Well, I mean,
so
you have science class there. They bring animals.
Yeah. Well, so then like 3 days later, Ellie tells me, she goes, hey, so we figured out where the cat came from. And I'm like, okay. So apparently, so first fault because we live far enough outside of like the main town that we don't get like DoorDash or anything. We can't get any of that. But apparently they're a little bit closer in, so I guess Pizza Hut or Domino's, they will deliver, or they have like a service that will deliver, and they live a little bit closer in. So I guess they had pizza delivered, and the pizza delivery guy couldn't find the house. So her husband had to go out to the street or whatever and kind of flag him down. And so I'm assuming the car door was open when they were talking or getting the pizza or whatever, and the kitten went out of the car because they left a message on the phone saying, well, one of our drivers is missing their what did they say, emotional, or no, service animal.
Oh.
One of our drivers is missing a service animal, so we were wondering if maybe you've seen, but they didn't say what it was, but obviously it was the cat. And I'm thinking, how is this little tiny cat a service animal, besides the fact that you are delivering food and you have an animal in your car?
Animal in your car.
And also, how do you not notice that it's missing? So the next day when we drove to the school, whatever, it was way on the other side of Houston, and one of my former students was helping with the project, so I had picked her up, and she was sitting, so she was holding the kitten the entire time going there. The kitten didn't move. It stayed in her lap the whole entire time. I'm like, how did this guy not know that the kitten was missing? And so she didn't hear the message until a couple days later, and by then, I mean, it was fine here, and she's like, it's good. It's at Kelly's now, so. So yeah, so now I have those two cats that are like indoor-outdoor cats, and then there's Percy. We still have Percy. She's 8 years old now, at least. And then,
Yes.
which is, no, 7 years. Or 8, I don't know.
Cats live forever, so.
That's pretty old for a cat. I mean, I guess cats live a long time.
Cats live forever.
And then the one, Onyx, I don't remember which litter that cat was. But Peach Fuzz and Mowgli were from this summer, so they're like 6-8 months old, something like that.
Huh.
But, yeah, and then the dogs. And then two of the dogs came from the neighbor's dogs across the street. That's the dad. Birdie's the mom, and then, yeah. So.
Yeah, you have stories for days.
Story of the dogs. Yeah. Because when Connor finally decided that he wanted to take Pickles back, because then he was having a house, so he had a place to put the dog, he took the dog, and then Birdie was all sad. So we figured, oh, okay, well, I think we need to get Birdie a friend. So I remember my husband was scrolling on Facebook or whatever, and someone posted in Talk of Liverpool, free puppies. And there was a puppy that was like a white lab mix puppy that looked just like a mini Birdie. And he's like, look at this puppy. So we called them, and by noon that day, we brought Sandy home. And so Birdie hated Sandy. She growled at her. She wouldn't want to have anything to do with her. And we're like, maybe this wasn't such a good idea. And we're like, maybe we should give it back. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure the people are not going to take the dog back. So we kept her. And, I mean, they get along, but definitely Birdie is the dominant one, and Sandy's like the cowering one or whatever. But she's a great dog with me. She's like my best friend, and she likes Izzy. She doesn't like anybody else. Oh, she likes Pam. When Pam comes to visit, she likes Pam. But she doesn't she's so mean. She's so mean to people. And I don't understand, because I've never had dogs that didn't like people. I mean, Berkeley and Winston were like I mean, they would bark at you, but as soon as you talked to them and then petted them, they were like,
Right.
"Oh, you're my
Ah,
best
they're up.
friend." Okay, they're good. But these dogs are way different. So
Mm.
that's this whole thing about they've been doing so great. The electric fence was working, but it's not working anymore. So now they have to be back in the backyard because I've that's all I've done the last 2 weekends is just dogify the fence or whatever.
Yeah.
And I can't.
Yeah, they get desensitized to that electric fence, and
Yeah, so I don't know if it's not putting out enough. Whatever.
they start to become immune to it. You know, I think electric fences, they're there to be a teaching tool, and you know you get, and then you get rid of it. I don't think it's supposed to be like long term.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping it would be a little bit more long term until we can actually get the fence up. So then that's another thing. Oh, we were going to do the fence in October. We have all the pieces for the fence, or most of them. I mean, the problem is what this is what I was going to say about the person that you're following, is that she probably has time to take care of all of those animals.
Sure.
So also,
Sure.
we both have full-time jobs, and then we're doing these things, which is fine.
Yeah.
But like, you have to have the structures in place. So that's what Izzy and I mean, Izzy agrees. He knows that, again, we put the cart before the horse, and I'm not saying that I'm not guilty of it too. But we just decided no more. If we're gonna do it, we're gonna build the thing first, get it ready, and then we'll get the things. It's just the animals. I mean, the puppies, Birdie decided to go on a walkabout, and then she, befriended the dog across the street, and one thing led to another, and that happened. And so now, yeah, we had puppies, and then whatever. But so now we need a fence. We have the backyard fence, which is really, it's bigger than most people have in their most yards. And of course, I feel bad because I'm like, oh, they're confined to the fence. But it's still a big space. Except then we also have, a pond and all these other things that they could be using, but now they can't because I can't let them out because they crawl under the fence. So I told Izzy, I said, before it was like stressing me out and making me sad, but I told him, I said, well, I can't control what the dogs are going to do right now. So I'm just going to let it be whatever it has to be. And they're going to have to be in the back until we can finish the fence.
Yeah.
And so
They have plenty of room back there.
there's still a lot of room. It's just, I just feel bad. But whatever. It is what it is. They're just going to have to deal with it because I can't
trust them.
I can't take the chance that they'll go.
Well, it's being a responsible dog owner, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
And yeah. The other day, I walked down to the end of the street, and the neighbor boys were playing out there, and then all the dogs started barking, and then the poor kid, and so then I had to call them back, and they did come back, but, I mean, can you imagine being a little kid, and then these 4 big dogs are, like, coming up to you and, like, barking, and, yeah. And heaven forbid one of them decided to go after them. I mean, that would be horrible. So I just don't want to take that chance because that would be not good.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Like, we'll just see. So hopefully we can get this fence built soon. But we started the whole fence process like a year and a half ago.
Yeah. Kind of like the siding.
I was just gonna say, but we have siding on 2/3-ish of the house. We have it. All the horizontal siding is on the third side. We just need to do the vertical on the top part. which we're gonna do. I guess it's spring break
Oh, yeah.
because I mean Izzy will be home at Valentine's Day, but that's gonna be like 3 days, so we're not gonna really get anything done that weekend.
He's coming home for Valentine's Day.
Well, it's a 3-day weekend for me.
Oh, because you're off. Okay.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say.
like that weekend. So he'll come, like, he would have come this weekend because I have tomorrow off. But
Mm-hmm.
there's a PGA show in Orlando that happens every year at the same time. So the last 3 years,
Yep.
he's had to go to that, and they've said, "Oh, your wife can come, blah blah blah," but he's in meetings all day long. So like,
Yeah,
what am I gonna do? And then, what am I gonna do with all these dogs? I mean, so yeah,
that's what's really keeping you
yeah,
at home. It's the animals.
yeah. So he'll come home over that weekend. So he's actually gonna come home like late Thursday night, and then he'll be here Friday. And we have a PD day that day. The kids have off, but we have a PD day. But that's fine. He can do something. And then Saturday, Sunday, and then I'm off Monday, and then he'll go back Tuesday. So kind of like, I mean, it's nicer when he can come for a longer. So he'll drive that one. If he's just coming for the weekend, then he'll fly.
Yeah.
But, and I hate that it's, we said whenever he went back to the job, we said we can't do like this
Longer than-
stint, this 6 weeks. This is not cool. We said you've got to come home at least once a month because it's just not going to work. But we knew that this particular one, because he was going to be in Florida for a whole week, and I mean, it's another is what it is thing. So it's not ideal. But after that, then it's pretty much like once a month because he'll come back in March for a week for spring break, and then he'll come back.
That could probably be a very good marriage for a lot of people.
Well, I'm having to get used to. I mean, it is when he comes back. It's like it messes up my schedule. It's like I have my routine, right?
Yeah.
And then also, usually when he's here, I'm off too. So then that's like not a schedule. But I kind of have what I do, on the weekends or whatever, like my little routine, and it just gets all thrown off. But it's okay. I mean, I'd rather have him here and have my schedule off than not, so. And when he's back permanently, we'll get into whatever routine then. So, it'll be fine. Well, wow, this whole entire session, or this whole entire episode's about
We talked about the animals. Talked about animals.
Yes, so if anyone ever wants to know about the animals, and they got like you got an official live time. What do you call it? Live, an in-person demonstration of what it's like in my household when the dogs see something in the yard. Yep, story of my life, but that's okay. It's a good life. I'm not complaining. Why do I? Anyway. Well, I think on that note, speaking of which,
Yeah.
I actually need to finish, I didn't finish it last night because my fingers turned white. I was finishing putting the plastic on the vents in the attic.
They turn white and do they go numb and tingle and like, yeah.
I can't feel the top of them. Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah, well, that was what happened to me.
Yeah. So I couldn't finish last night because I couldn't feel my fingers. And I also, well, I couldn't get the stapler open to put more staples in because I couldn't feel my fingers. So I couldn't press the thing hard enough to open the stapler. And I said, okay, I think it's time to be done. I mean, it was whatever, 7:45. It was supposed to have taken like an hour to do this, and it was an hour and 45 minutes later, and I'm still messing with it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do it today in the sunlight. But it's still really cold. I mean, I think it's still,
Oh,
I don't know. Let me look at my phone. It said it was going to be 32 degrees for until like noon or something today, I think. What does it say? Oh.
it is.
Oh,
It'll be
it says it's
32. It's
40.
already.
It says it's 45 now.
Yeah, it's already.
So it's getting warmer. But 45 is still cold. What is the
Yes.
What does it say?
For
The feels like temperature is, oh, I guess
it's 43 here, and it feels like 45.
Oh, well, I mean, it's really sunny out now, so,
It is very sunny. It is very nice out.
and I need to go uncover my croton plants, because I've managed to kill every single one of those that I've ever had, and I don't want to, I just bought some over the holiday, and I didn't want to kill them. So it said I needed to cover them yesterday, but then uncover them today, and then recover them, like, later this evening. So, I need to go uncover them.
Okay.
But I don't want to go outside, because it's cold.
All right.
So, alright. Well, Anna, enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. You too.
Alright, well, I guess we'll see each other next week.
Alrighty.
Alright, well, be sparkly, everybody. We love you.
Yeah. Hashtag don't blink. The week will be gone.
Yep.
And hashtag damn dogs. Every single
There you
time.
go. Alright.